Hey everyone, this is Matt Dale here. I'm glad that you've tuned into this video. This is our secondary channel that we just started a few days ago. So make sure to hit that subscribe button if this is your first time viewing a video. Over here, we're going to try to keep things simple and short. On my other channel, Dale Outdoors, we really get into some really deep tactical advanced setups and calling techniques over there, so make sure to go over and subscribe to that one also. But here we're going to try to just keep things simple and basic for a lot of beginners and a lot of new turkey hunters especially, and you advanced guys too that's been doing this a long time. So don't turn the video off, this is for you too. A lot of people over the years have heard me on my main channel talk about under your breath calling and making a lot of sounds on a diaphragm all throughout the day. Now we know we can overcall on a gobbler. We know, and I've talked about that over the years. But remember, when you're doing calling that sounds real and that realism calling, you can get away with a lot more calling than you can say if you're not very good and you're just making a bunch of noise and it sounds halfway decent, but it's not really realism in your turkey calling. So that's where you get into problems with overcalling. So when you start learning how to push your air from down in your diaphragm instead of your throat or in your mouth, your turkey calling is going to sound so much more real, and you're going to get a lot of soft sounds that you can get away with a lot throughout the day. Now, I don't constantly stay on a turkey call all day long, but I do stay on a turkey call a lot than probably a lot of most people, because it's the way I'm calling. So when we're talking about that under your breath calling, we're talking about getting a call. First of all, you got to have the right mouth call. You got to have the right cut. You got to have the right stretch on your reed. So you can't just pick up any mouth call and expect it to sound as good as another when you're trying to do this super quiet under your breath type calling. Now the one I have here is the one we just came out with this year. This is my signature Sweet Hen 2.5, and you can get them there at Spring Fever Custom Calls. And pretty much I designed this call last year just for this type of calling right here. And the reeds are really loose. They're not stretched real tight, so it's really easy to get just hardly any airflow at all to get a sound out of it. I mean, you don't even have to push very hard to get a good sound out of it. I mean, you can't believe just how easy I'm blowing. I mean, I'm hardly blowing at all. So that's what you want. So this is the Sweet Hen 2.5, but any mouth call that's got really loose type, not real tight stretched reeds and got a good cut at the top, or just a straight double reed, is going to work really good for you for this type calling. So here's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about that under your breath calling. Notice how I'm not calling from my mouth. My mouth's not opening. I'm not pushing it out. It's just coming from down here. Everything's coming from down here, and I'm not hardly opening my mouth. Now see, when you start calling that way, you can get away with a lot more calling, but when that gobbler's coming in, you're going to be able to work that gobbler without spooking him off or getting too aggressive and too loud. You're letting him think that hen is right around that area somewhere, just right close to him, but he just can't see her yet. And many times that type of calling right there is what's going to get them turkeys to just come right on in to where they're supposed to. And that's the good part about this type of calling. And so now I get loud, don't get me wrong, if I have to get aggressive and loud on a mouth call, I will, but pretty much 70% of my time in the turkey woods is just soft calling, just like this. So again, you're just going to push everything up out of your lungs and try to push everything up out of here. And imagine that's what hen turkeys are doing. That's what they're doing. You know, if you watch a hen turkey, she's just out there moving, and she's barely moving her beak, and her diaphragm's moving, and that's where you get the different little pitches. Instead of just one monotone, you're changing it up and down. just imagine that hen walking up and down and just moving her body, and everything's coming from down in here. So that's going to help you a lot when you're working a turkey, especially up in the daytime, and getting him convinced that that hen is somewhere around that area. You know, scratch the leaves, do all that we've talked about over the years on the other channel, but make it sound like that she's just up there feeding around, you know, purring, clucking, bubble clucking, all that stuff, but just do it really soft under your breath. And when you can master that and you can really get more comfortable calling that way, you will be more successful. And you can get away again with a little bit more calling than you can, say, if you was out there and you were doing stuff like this. You see, that's coming out of here, and it's just it's too loud. But when you can change it and just start as a habit, mostly calling from down here, it will change the way that you call, and it'll change the way that you work a gobbler also. And so I hope that helps you. And but a lot of people get confused when they hear me on the main channel talk about stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to do here, is just try to keep it simple and break it down in these short little videos. And we're going to be doing some other stuff also here. So this is a brand new channel. Please make sure to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and go over to my other channel and subscribe to it as well if this is your first time ever seeing me. And let's grow this channel together. And hey, you know what? You never know what we might do here. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.